Hello everyone, and welcome to stages 7 and 8 of Path to Defiance. Those are the upgrades I used to actually finish the event. So from the last video I just fully upgraded upgraded the tires and wheels to level 3. This is the second stage. I don't know what happened to the first stage. It was a race where you just had to maintain position. It was 6th place, Markle behind you and Zoe in front of you, I think. I can't remember, Ahmed in front of you. But you just had to not overtake and not be overtaken. I was struggling with that, so I put on the tires upgrade just to help me basically through this section here. It's tricky, and I can now go sort of flat out through here. Whereas at this corner I was losing it and going off into the sand. So, and it also made this downhill run a little bit tricky as well. So it's still sliding, you can see, but yeah, it's a bit better now with the wheels and tires upgraded to level 3. So that was the first stage. It was pretty simple. The second one here, okay, this is average speed and don't go off the track and win. So we have to catch up to Michael here. And we can't use the shortcut. That's going to make things a little tricky. So we just have to be fast, and that's why I've got that the tires upgrade on for that grip through the tricky parts there. Michael is quick through there, and I'm not. So yeah, the extra grip really helped me out through there. Some guys won't need that extra grip. They're just better at the game than I am. But yeah, I needed the extra grip, so I've got it. In terms of the average speed, yeah, I'm pushing because as you can see, I haven't even hit the average speed yet, and we're already on the second lap. I'm gonna hit average speed right at the end, but I am pushing pretty hard, and that's another reason why you lose a lot of time. Well, not time, yeah, but you lose a lot of that average speed through this section if you're having to lift or brake or anything like that. And you can see how quick Michael is through it as well. He's flat out, so yeah, that was getting tricky. So here under the braking, I get past him. And I think, if I remember correctly, he comes back at me on the straight, and I took no chances, and yeah, there we go, I nailed the wall there. Luckily it doesn't count as off track. But here comes Michael, and I was like, no, I'm not taking a chance with this guy. So I put him out. I'm trying to win here at all costs. So yeah, normally wouldn't do that kind of a thing, but yeah, in an event like this where we're racing for a car and we're on a deadline, yeah, you do what you have to do. And then we hit average speed, and it was a bit tricky, a bit iffy at that corner, and yeah, just made it on the average speed. I think we're 216.7 or 6 or 7 there. Yeah, but we made it. Okay, not too bad. I must say that, yeah, luckily Michael wasn't quicker than that, because we would never have caught him. That's the bot slowing that we did in the earlier rounds, helping us out there. Okay, this next one, again, only 1 second of off track. Which is interesting that this is the last stage and we're getting 1 second of off track. Usually it's just like insta-fail for the off track. So that's kind of generous. But then again, this is an old event. I could find references to this event from 8 years ago. So yeah, it's an old event. Nowadays, yeah, when you get to the last stages of an event, it's when they say no off track, they mean no off track and like no grace, no allowance, no nothing, just off track, and that's it. Goal failed. So basically we got 1 lap here, and we got to get to 4th place, which is where we are. So I'm going to speed this up. Zoe's ahead of us. I'm still doing some bot management and bot slowing because yeah, this is stage 7 of 8. There's still another stage after this one, so I don't want to win by too much. That's why I think we could finish 3rd or 4th. So I chose, finish 3rd or 4th. I chose 4th. Anything, just do the minimum required. Just like high school. Just do what you need to do to pass. Right, now, hit top speed of 296.1 3 times, and we're simulating fuel. I'll tell you, the problem with simulating these fuel events is you're the only one who's running out of fuel and has to lift and coast in it. The other guys don't seem to be having that problem in this race. But anyway, who knows how fuel works in this game. It's kind of like just a timer. If you accelerate, the timer goes down. If you don't accelerate, the timer stands still. Yeah, but sometimes, you get 20 units of fuel, and it'll be as much as this event has 9 units of fuel. So yeah, I don't know how it's measured, but anyway, yes, I actually, with my wheel and tire upgrades, I actually managed to hit speed in this tricky section here, which is not tricky anymore because I have the grip. If you look here, just coming out into that corner there, we hit speed. Yeah. So there we go. That's a lot better than the other ones were asking us to hit like 350, which the car just cannot do. So yeah, 290. Well, there we go. There was one for 290. I think that was doable. This one was doable. And here we have a nice long straight. So we're going to hit speed easily on here. You can even brake and hit speed again. And I took a chance here because I thought, it didn't say anything about off track. And I have to conserve fuel. So, bye, Michael. Because I have to drive slowly now. And lap 2, we've got 4.3 fuels to go. I don't know. It's not liters or gallons or just units of fuel. So I'm going to be lifting and coasting a lot on this lap because I don't want to do all this and then run out of fuel. I need to hit speed one more time, which I can do on the back straight or up the hill or at the top of the hill. Here comes Charlotte. We're not going to mess her around. She'll back off now. Just a lot quicker through the corners here than she is, than the bots in general are. And again, that's our bot slowing coming into play. The bots are still pretty slow in the corners. So it gives us a bit of an advantage. I'm not so great at this track. Through this section down the hill. This part, it's fine, and then we've hit speed again. But here, this is tricky. Some guys can fly down here. I just have, you see, I slow down so massively. Some guys go through there on the accelerator. I'm like, oh my goodness. I've seen it on when you watch their ghosts on time trial. I'm like, I've tried that, but no, it didn't work for me. I just hit barriers. So I'm not like, I'm pretty good at, I'm fine at the track. I'm good at the track, but I'm not like, some guys I guess are like elite, maybe you could say, at the track. But even with the grip upgrades here, I still was not confident enough to get on the gas early on the downhill section. There we go. So I'm coasting to the line here with like half a unit of fuel remaining. You just call it fuels. Half a fuel to go. And I coasted all the way to the line, and there we go. So, that's that one done. Not too bad. We could have hit speed 4 times. Wouldn't have been too much of a problem. Right, and then we move on. This one, I backed up here. And I'm going to fast forward, because this lap is ruined. The lap time counter has already started, even though we haven't crossed the start-finish line. But we only have to set the fastest lap, which means do 1 fast lap. And we've got 3 laps. So what I wanted to do was let all the guys through, give myself a big gap. I don't want to be fighting with other cars or being slowed down by other cars. Or, them braking way too early because the bots are slow. And then you ram into the back of them because you just don't anticipate they'll brake that much. So the second lap here is my fastest lap, so I'll slow that down to normal speed. You can see there it says Michael did a 145. I think his next lap was a 138. So that's, I think, what I was aiming for, I was aiming for around a 135. That's what I thought Michael would be doing. 135, 136. That's kind of what I guessed he would be doing. but I think he did a 138, and I think I did a 136 here. Yeah, so I'm pretty on it. You can see I'm losing the back end there, sliding it into the wall. Don't want to do too much of that, but it also, I'm doing that and I'm thinking, well, I'll finish the lap, see what my time is, and if I have to go quicker, I know I can, because I've made some mistakes. If I just don't make those mistakes, you see I'm late on the brakes here, and I'm really just slowing down a lot and then power down through here. Early on the brakes here again, and onto the accelerator as soon as possible around that corner there, and then just gun it down the straight and try and just get on the accelerator as soon as you can, so you can accelerate up to your top speed as soon as you can. And you can see here I hit 351, which is amazing, because I couldn't do that at Daytona before the breaking point. Here I managed it. So that goal that I skipped, it's like, yeah, you could have done that. There's a 136.9, and you can see it says Michael did a 138. And at that point, I know Michael will improve, but he won't improve by that much. He won't improve by over a second. So I took it easy on this lap. Yeah, so that goal I skipped was, if they put it on this track, a track with like a long straight and then a decent, like not shortened straight by having a massive braking zone. And also this straight is downhill twice. You see the end bit here is downhill. So that helps out a lot too. And I managed to do 3 laps there without going off track once. And there we go. Goal complete. That's what we like to see. And we are finished with stage 7. Yes, we are there. We are at the final stage, which of course is going to be Le Mans. And there's some talk. These goals are all about the journey of that 91 race. So they talk about the first rotary engine to win, and the 3.5 liter rules, and all that kind of stuff. And fuel economy and reliability. That's correct, Real Racing 3. You are talking the truth. That is what won the race for Mazda. Reliability and fuel economy, not speed. So we have to prove that by having a short sprint race of 3 laps around Le Mans. Oh, that's not a short sprint. It's such a long track. And we also have 25 fuels. And again, these other cars, if this was like a simulated reality, we'd be breezing past that, these guys. I'm going to be keeping them pretty close by. I'm going to accelerate this because it's such a long race. This video would have been, without all the fast forwarding I'm doing, this video would have been like 45 minutes long. I didn't want to, I would have run out of stories. So we're fast forwarding here, 500%. But yeah, in reality what happened in that 91 Le Mans race was that those V12 Jags, they were so thirsty. They were, in order to avoid that, you lost so much time in the pit, and in order to avoid having to pit, they rather drove slowly to conserve fuel so they'd get a few extra laps out of a stint. And it cost them. The Mazda beat them. They finished 2nd, 3rd and 4th. The strategy didn't account for the Mazda not having to pit as much or use up as much fuel. So the only other reliable cars in the 91 Le Mans race were the Jags, but unfortunately they were driving around slowly because fuel consumption problems. So yeah, if we're on fuel consumption, of course the bots are not, and therefore Michael is staying pretty much with us. You can see he's only like keeping him like 100 and so meters behind. I was working on sort of 8 fuels per lap. So, and at the end of lap 1 I had 16 to go. At the end of lap 2 I had 8 to go. So I was like, and I was lifting and I was coasting and I was stressing a bit because, yeah man, I got to win this. But I'm not pulling away from Michael at all. As soon as I start lifting and coasting, he catches right up. Plus he was in the Porsche, and the Jag was behind that. They're super fast down those straights. They catch you anyway. So you can see I'm running out of fuels at a rate of knots. I'm coasting like all hell through the Porsche curves there, and into the Recordemont. I'm going real slow, and then I can accelerate. And Michael's only 26 meters behind me. So I didn't really have to push, but yeah, you have to lift and coast just to manage your fuel. And then the Mazda made its way to 19th place. To 3rd place, yes. Overtaking the 3.5 litre cars. Yeah, of course it did. The 3.5 litre cars were the category 1. They weren't even in the same category. They were category 1. They were the cars that actually did comply with the 91 rule changes. But there were only like a few of them, not many. And they were way slow because only the Peugeots really were quick. But the others were really, really slow because they just hadn't sorted out their... It was brand new technology, brand new cars, brand new engines. They hadn't quite sorted it out yet. So everybody pretty much overtook them. But yeah, you can see that this car did qualify 19th. I used up half a second of off-track there, which, yeah, we got to do that to avoid having a massive accident and getting damaged and going slowly, and we don't want any of that because we got to catch up to these guys. And you can see here as we exit Tetra Rouge, I've got a good drive off Tetra Rouge and I'm going straight past Kenji's Porsche. It irritates me that it doesn't say Rothmans on the side of that Porsche. It also irritates me this rubbish color scheme on the Mazda. Where's the Renown livery? I actually looked if the livery is available in the game and it's not, so I have to make it myself. But I'll fully upgrade the car because I don't feel like spending gold on stickers. So again there, all through there, look, I've still only used up half a second of off track. So all through that, the first Mulsanne chicane there, none of that was off track. There's a bit of leeway there, actually quite a lot of leeway there. It's a bit like a skid pan in there. You don't really have to stick to track limits. And it allows you to brake later, open up the corners, and the second chicane is not quite like that. So you have to be a bit more careful with this one. But again, try and get a good exit out of it. And onto this second Mulsanne straight. And it's Emma ahead of us. I must say, there's Emma and Charlotte and all these girls in this event. They're super quick. They should get themselves a team. There's a girl team that races Le Mans. The whole team is all women. The mechanics, everyone. They were doing pretty well in the 24 Hours of Le Mans this year until I can't remember who it was. Some jealous guy bashed him out of the race because he couldn't. Because the girls were beating the guys a bit, so the guys I think got a bit jealous and just bashed him out of the race. That's rude. Shouldn't have done that, guys. But yeah, here we go, Emma. We're gonna get down the inside at Arnage. And now Arthur is ahead of us, and he's quite a ways down the road. So on the run up to the Porsche curves, he's going to be super quicker than us. We'll catch him in the corners. You can see Emma's right up on us because, yeah, again, just fast in the Porsche curves. But we only have to... I made a big mistake there, but I made it back. Ended up bashing into Emma there at the chicane because she was just going so slowly. We only have to finish third. So... I'm fast forwarding a bit here. I used 4/10, another 4/10. We've got 5 seconds of off track. It's amazing to me that we have 5 seconds of off track in stage, the final stage. There's events where you get to stage 5 and it's the final stage, and if you breathe off the track, just like a ball hairs off the track, and you fail. There you get 5 seconds. So that's pretty damn generous, if you ask me. But yeah, maybe that's just the good old days of 8 years ago. Maybe the game was a bit more generous then. Alright, back to normal speed. Arthur, we're not going to catch Arthur, we don't need to. And I'm slowing right down again because these other cars around us are so quick. Where is the Mercedes, the Sauber Mercedes? Okay, so the 787 pushed past its expectations, so now we have to hit 359 kilometers per hour while coming in at least third and within 3 minutes and 20 seconds and without going off track. And this time we got no leeway, but there will be a bit of leeway. There you go, I just used it all up. Right there, cutting that the recorder on there. I cut that corner a bit, and I'm sure I used up whatever grace I did maybe have with off track. So, again, we only have to finish third, but we're going to have to finish first because we also only have 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Plus, we started before the start-finish line, the timer started, so we've actually got about 3 minutes and 14 seconds to do a lap, which is not a problem. I can do about a 3:05 if I push. Important here, get wide, take Tetra Rouge nice and quick. I had to lift a bit there because the Jag was in my way, but I don't think it hampered us too much. I'm keeping way over to the right. I want the Jag to go back through. There's no draft, which would have really helped, but there we go. I've hit speed, 360 on the nice long straight. So that's speed out of the way, and then I can get past the Jag again here. You can see, not off track there. I mean, do that in reality, and yeah, you're gonna get the penalties. But in the game says not off track. This is after all real racing, where I mean, there's a few mistakes in the track design. Sao Paulo is Interlagos, my word. That's just, the whole track is a skid pan. You can go everywhere is off track, and they should have events there. You can win cars really easy by just going off track there. Really, the whole thing is like just one big skid pan with some painted lines on it. It's like a top tier test track. Right. So from here on, pretty simple. That too is not off track. That's what I'm watching out for, is just not going off track. And you still got to be pushing, because that's why I'm not speeding it up. I'm showing you guys so you can see this. I've got to push. We're running out of time. 3 minutes 14. I could probably do a 3:05 in this car. Maybe just. But still around the 3:07, 3:08, I think is really, that's possible. 3:10 would be really simple, so 3:14. But you never know until you get there. And I'm looking at this at Arnage with 55 seconds to go, and I'm going, wow, the whole Porsche curves. And again, with this car, grip-wise, the Porsche curves can be a bit tricky. So, again, glad I put that wheels and tires upgrade on, because I don't think it would have been as easy as this without that last upgrade. For me, maybe for you guys, it's different. I struggle with the cars sliding around a lot. You can see I'm on the brakes a bit in these corners, I just don't want to, I'm so scared of the back snapping out and just throwing me off track after a whole long lap. But coming up to the final chicanes with 13 seconds to go, that's not so bad. Through the recorder mode, nice and slow. I can take it easy now. You can see, so I'm going to cross the line with 3 seconds to go. And I don't think you can finish third. I think you have to win this event. Which is not too much of a problem. At the 22nd hour, the number 55 Mazda took first place after the lead car was forced into the pit with mechanical problems. That would be Michael Schumacher's Sauber Mercedes C11. So where's the C11? Why aren't we racing against it? I said this in the last video. The Jags are here, the Porsches are here, the Mazdas here, but where's the C11? And that should have been in this event. Maybe because they retired. They didn't actually retire. Schumacher and co. I think it was Schumacher and I think Carl Wendlinger was driving that year as well for Mercedes. They ended up, I think, finishing 5th. I think they managed to get back out. They just spent a lot of time in the pits, changing all sorts of things and having to replace parts in the car, and it cost them like 50 laps or something. So, but they did finish. The car should really be here. This is an interesting one. You got to tailgate for a minute and then lead for a minute and a half. So that's tough because these cars again are so much faster on the straight. The Mazda is so slow in this sort of high speed stuff. They're coming up to the chicane here now. I can't overtake. And you can see the trouble that you have here. It's a good thing it wasn't 60 seconds consecutively like the 90 seconds is, because Ahmed just drives away in the Jag. Look at that, he just goes. Oh man. I'm not gonna put on upgrades to like tailgate a guy. No, that's not on. Just gonna have to struggle through it. So we'll tailgate him through the chicanes. coming out of the chicane. Don't bump him, because then you'll just ruin all tailgating. At least here you'll get a few seconds of tailgating in. And there we go. So we've got about 20 seconds left to go. So you just got to, I mean, that Jag just goes away on the straights. He'll reel him in again. And I overtook him. Went off track. You see, you shouldn't. They slow down so much for the corners, which is encouraging. It just means that whatever the next race is will be easier, and to overtake this guy and stay ahead of him for 90 seconds will be easier. So that's cool. But now Ahmed has a bit of a lead, quite a big lead, 250 meters. So I'm going to have to chase him down. We'll make up some places here at Indianapolis, but of course I won't, because I went flying off the road, pushing too hard. Then here at Arnage, again wide. It's cut last chicane's time. That's what time it is. Look at your watch. It'll tell you it's time to cut the last chicanes and catch up to Ahmed. Because I still have 17 seconds. And look at this. Arthur, you bastard. You tried to take me out there. There's Michael. Well, they don't actually try and take you out, but I drove into his line. But behind me, I can't really see that they're there. So, yeah, it seems at the last minute you try and move and you end up moving into them and you sort of pit maneuver yourself. So, cut the last chicanes. There's Ahmed, not too far. There he is. This is tailgating, driving next door to him like this. I got some tailgating in behind Michael and those guys as well. So now I've done the 60 seconds. And then I decided this is actually perfect, because this is where I can pull a gap. Because that's what you're going to need. You're going to need a gap. So, because otherwise Ahmed just comes straight back past you on the straight, and you need 90 seconds, not collectively, consecutively. So now you've overtaken him. You have to stay ahead of him for a minute and a half. You have to. If he overtakes you back, that counter sets to 0. So, again, good drive out of Tetra Rouge. I managed this, so I'm going to fast forward. You can see that Ahmed is catching, and then when he hits the chicane, he goes away with the good old concertina effect. And I was able to keep him at bay for the 90 seconds. That's now up, so now all I have to do is get to the end, and I slid wide at Indianapolis again. It's a tricky corner, Indianapolis. I ended up having to brake like way back, where the little last walkway is before the right-hander that leads up to Indianapolis. But there we go, we did it, and I think we have one more race to go. And then we're done. So you can see only 12 cars managed to finish, and only one of them was a 3.5 liter Category 1 car. So yeah. So here we got the choice again, and oh my goodness, do we have to do all three? So I think I just picked the one that was, I think this is, I don't know, they're all the same, I'm guessing. It's one lap of Le Mans, and I think this is the evening, or it's not night, I think it's like the evening or something like that. And by now, it's been a long, hard slog, guys, so I'm not messing about. We can't go off track, so I did go off track there for 0.8 of a second, just to make sure that just to you know, pressure's good. I love pressure. Eat it for breakfast. And so now there's just no more off track allowed. We had a second. I decided just there at the first chicane, use up 0.8 of it. So now you're really under pressure to keep the car on the road. That's the way I like it. Yeah. Don't do that. It's not fun. Yeah, I don't want to have to do all three races, so I'm desperate to just do one. It's been a long, hard slog. It's been 8 stages of just watching Jags and Porsches drive past you. It takes its toll, man. It takes its toll on the soul. Makes you just like want to, frustrates you so much that you skip events and skip races and So, but here's our like final lap of Le Mans really for me in this car, because this did work. I didn't have to do all three. Thank goodness. You can see how slow they're going there. It was cool that I think it was Zoe in the Mazda there was holding up the Jag. Otherwise, that Jag would have been gone, and we probably only would have caught the Jag around Indianapolis or the Porsche curve. So, yeah, thanks Zoe. And you can see now, I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, hey, let's put a gap on Zoe because that Jag gets past and we're in big trouble. So I'm kind of pushing her, and then right then as I decide to do that, Ahmed got past, and now I've got the Porsche charging me down. And I think only one or two Porsches finished the race as well in '91, and I don't think it was any of those. I think it was the older model Porsches that finished the 96. Look, whatever it was. It wasn't the 963s. It was 962s. But it was the factory cars that I think didn't finish, and it was the customer cars that finished, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. You can double check me on that and write in the comments that you stupid fool, you were wrong. But I'm pretty sure the factory Porsches retired, and some customer cars, customer teams made it to the end. But yeah, we are in the Porsche curves where the Mazda is actually handling quite nicely with my level 3 wheels and tires on, and I don't want to make a mistake. That's all I was thinking. Come all this way and then mess it up at the chicane. So I'm really cautious through the chicane. I've got 100 meters on Ahmed, and thank goodness it's over. Yes, done. Right, there we go. So that's that. All done. Not too difficult in the end with the upgrades we had, but I did skip 2 events. So there's our car, the number 28 Mazda, not the 55 that won in the nice renowned livery. We get this rubbish livery instead. And there we get the Group C 91 season, and there it is. There is the Sauber Mercedes. So where was that car in our event? Anyway, guys, until the next one, have a good time all the time. Cheers.